Mary Shelley-type movie genre drama performer Elle Fanning, Douglas Booth, Stephen Delane director Hi-Fi Manser. We gave it AC Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, the early 19th century author of one of literature's most defining and bone-chilling horror novels, Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, would seem to make for a pretty ripe biopic subject. And she does. Too bad, the movie that taps into all of that potential is Ken Russell's 1986 phantasmagorical freakout gothic, with Natasha Richardson, Gabriel Byrne, and Julian Sands, and not this unforgivably lifeless period piece. As played by Elle Fanning, Mary is the fiery, independent-minded, 16-year-old daughter of a pair of famous parents, writer and bookseller William Godwin, Stephen Delane, and the late proto-feminist Mary Wollstonecraft, who wrote A Vindication of the Rights of Woman. Talent and ambition seemed to be in Mary's genes even at a precociously young age. Mary escapes her stern stepmother, Downton Abbey's Joanne Froggatt, hiding out at a nearby cemetery, where she scribbles macabre ghost stories next to her mother's grave. But Mary's resentment of her stepmother and tensions at home lead her father to send her off to Scotland to live with family friends. There, she meets the dashing young poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies Douglas Booth, whose progressive, romantic declarations of artistic and sexual freedom are like catnip to Mary. Soon, even after Mary learns that Shelley has an estranged wife and daughter, they become a couple living like scandalous bohemians as Shelley blows through his savings and races to stay one step ahead of his creditors. Despite the film's handsome Merchant Ivory-style period setting and candlelit scenes of beautiful young people composing with quill pens, director Hi-Fi Manser, 2012's Wadja, fails to bring the film to life with any real unpredictability or passion. She commits the cardinal filmmaking sin of telling rather than showing. We are left with an aggressively conventional movie about extraordinarily unconventional characters. The whole thing feels suffocated, as if it exists under glass. With her pale meringue complexion and dewy saucer eyes, is too stiff and restrained as Mary. As she showed in 20th Century Women and the current How to Talk to Girls at Parties, she can be a wonderfully intelligent and intuitive actress, but Mary Shelley seems to be an uncomfortable fit for her. And as the roguish Shelley, Booth comes across like he's auditioning for a new Twilight sequel instead of playing one of the world's great poets. With his pasty, tubercular pallor, bee-stung lips, and air of danger, he's a cross between a sozzled vampire and a preening, let-it-bleed-era Mick Jagger. You keep waiting for him to sink his fangs in Fanning's virginal neck. Together, in their period finery, these two beautiful actors would make a stunning spread in Vogue, but they can't bring any real spark to the movie. Of course, what anyone who knows even a little about the couple's well-documented lives is waiting for is their date with destiny trip to Lord Byron's Lake Geneva chateau. Is there that their wealthy wastrel host, played by Tom Sturridge, a pansexual, Paisley Peacock, will propose the parlor game contest that would change the course of literature. Along with Mary's stepsister Claire, The Diary of a Teenage Girl's Belle Powley, and Dr. John Polidori, Ben Hardy, Byron challenges his guests to see who can write the best ghost story. Mary, still scarred by the death of her infant daughter with Shelley, channels that sense of crushing loss into her tale of a mad scientist and his misunderstood monster, a metaphor for Mary's own pain and alienation. This is where the movie, much like Frankenstein's monster, should spring to life and become animated. But the writing of her famous story and the debauchery of the setting comes too late and flits by too quickly. Mary Shelley wants to be a film about artistic creation and female liberation. And, to a degree, it is. But it's so flat and poorly paced that it just feels like a squandered opportunity of monstrous proportions.